Hello and welcome. Today we're bringing you our top 10 most heartbreaking moments in cricket. Get ready for an emotional ride as we dive right in. We all know how disappointing it is for a batsman to miss out on 100. But there are ways of missing out on 100, and some of them are more painful than others. During the 2020-2021 Big Bash League, Andrew Tye deprived James Vince of a well-deserved century, not by taking his wicket, but by bowling the most horrible wide you'll ever see. The Sydney Sixers needed 1 run to win, and Vince needed 2 runs for his century. Now, there was no guarantee that the Englishman would have reached the milestone, but hey, he at least deserved the chance. Instead, Tye bowled a bumper that went sailing over Vince's head, instantly ending the match. Vince's reaction tells you all you need to know about his feelings at that moment. He definitely did not seem very pleased. Next up, we have a very unfortunate end to a promising young career. Australian batter Will Pucovski was on his way to become a regular feature in the Aussie team. Possessing a solid technique and a temperament suited for Test cricket, Pucovski became just the 8th Australian to score a double 100 before the age of 21 in a Sheffield Shield game. But repeated blows to the head during games slowed down his career. By the age of 27, the young Aussie had already suffered 13 concussions in total, a shockingly large number in such a short span of time. Serious health issues soon emerged, and after advice from a medical panel, Pucovski made the decision to retire in 2025, stating that he wished to prioritize his health over his career. A cruel blow for a player who had so much more to offer. James Taylor is another name in the world of cricket whose promising career came to a sudden halt. The impressive young batter had made his debut for England in 2011, playing on and off until some strong performances landed him a regular spot 4 years later. Sadly, by the time Taylor's talent was recognised, he was diagnosed with a serious heart condition that forced him to retire in 2016 at just 26 years of age. For Taylor, the most heartbreaking thing was that he would no longer be able to play the sport he so dearly loved. It was an emotional time for the Englishman, but support from his family and cricket fans helped him push through. As of 2022, Taylor was serving as the batting coach for the Leicestershire first team. The South Africans understand the pain of losing a knockout game better than any other team in cricket. The unlucky Proteas found themselves on the wrong side of history yet again during the semi-final of the 2015 ODI World Cup. New Zealand required 14 off 7 balls, and Morne Morkel had just gotten a top edge off Grant Elliott's bat. But then South Africa did what they do best and shot themselves in the foot. The dropped catch came back to haunt them in the very next over. With 5 runs left off 2 deliveries, Elliot smashed Dale Steyn for a huge 6-over long on, breaking South African hearts one more time. The loss was so devastating that AB de Villiers and Morne Morkel were left in tears. Poor guys, always so close, yet so far. Weirdly enough, the Proteas still haven't overcome this habit and continue to lose finals with the same passion. Here we have the great Sachin Tendulkar getting dismissed on 99 in the most disappointing fashion. During 2007, Tendulkar inadvertently set the record for the most dismissals on 99 in ODIs, getting out 3 times on that score in the same year. One such instance came at the hands of Andrew Flintoff. During a match against England, Flintoff bowled a brute of a bouncer that caught the Indian legend in an uncomfortable position. The English team appealed for a caught behind and Tendulkar was given out. He quietly left without arguing, but replays show that the ball had in fact clipped Tendulkar's arm. It hadn't touched his bat or his gloves at all. An unfortunate end to a great innings. But on the bright side, Tendulkar's reaction was a testament to his wonderful character, a true gentleman of the game. Next, we have one of the most memorable T20 World Cup moments of all time. The final of the 2016 T20 World Cup between England and the West Indies is an instant classic. Both countries were vying for their second T20 World Cup trophy. And it all came down to the Windies needing 19 runs off the last over. Ben Stokes had the ball in hand. Carlos Brathwaite was the man on strike. What followed was simply an unbelievable outcome, as Brathwaite went went on to smash 4 consecutive sixes off the first 4 deliveries, sealing a historic win for his side. But while the Windies celebrated, England were absolutely crushed. By the third 6, it seemed as if Stokes had lost all his confidence, and we can only imagine what that final 6 did to his mental health. Luckily, Stokes overcame all that heartbreak and went on to win a few trophies with his side in later years. The 2023 ODI World Cup was India's to lose. They were simply unstoppable in this edition. Demolishing teams left, right and centre, they had made it to the finals without losing a single game. Oh, and they were also hosting the tournament, so victory in the final was going to be even more special. Except that Australia had other plans. Before the match, Pat Cummins had spoken about wanting to silence the huge Indian crowd, and the Aussies delivered, destroying India's dreams of a perfect World Cup victory. Even before the match had ended, the crowd had fallen completely silent. The cheering had stopped, the flags were down, and the mood around the stadium was just depressing to say the least. Who could even blame them? This really was one of the most disappointing losses in recent cricket history. Here we have one of the biggest scandals in Australian cricket history. Now, the Aussies have a bit of a reputation for being unfair at times, but who would have ever thought we'd see them openly cheating on the field? During the 2018 Test Series against South Africa, Cameron Bancroft was caught on the big screen while trying to tamper with his ball. His attempts to hide the material in his pants weren't good enough to evade modern-day cameras. And by the end of the day, a stressed-out Steve Smith addressed the media with Bancroft, admitting his involvement in a ball tampering plan that included David Warner as well. The fallout was immediate. While then coach Darren Lehman denied any involvement, he ultimately resigned and the team's confidence was completely destroyed. All 3 players were given varying suspensions, and to this day, the sandpapergate scandal remains the darkest incident in the history of Australian cricket. Now for the most heartbreaking finals loss of all time. The 2019 ODI World Cup final between New Zealand and England had one of the most unusual outcomes you will ever see. First, with 9 runs left off the last 3 deliveries, New Zealand got dealt the worst possible hand when a return throw hit Ben Stokes' bat and raced away to the boundary for an additional 4 runs. The Kiwis still managed to pull things back and the match ended in a tie. England then went on to post 15 runs in the super over. New Zealand replied by scoring 14 off the first 5 balls. With 2 runs left off the last delivery, Martin Guptill and Jimmy Neesham tried their best to run for a double, but Guptill was run out and the super over also ended in a tie. Here's the sad part: since England had hit more boundaries than New Zealand throughout the entire match, they were declared the winners. It was truly a heartbreaking loss for the Kiwis, who had come so agonizingly close to securing their first ever World Cup. Thankfully, the boundary count rule is no longer in effect, and England will have to win their next World Cup with more than just luck. Lastly, we have the most heartbreaking cricketing incident of all time. An incident so sad it left the entire cricketing community in mourning. On the 25th of November 2014, young Australian prodigy Philip Hughes was struck by a bouncer during a Sheffield Shield match. Initially, days from the impact, Hughes collapsed on the ground in seconds. Tragically, he would never regain consciousness, passing away in the hospital 2 days later. It was later revealed that he had suffered a cerebral hemorrhage as a result of the ball hitting part of his neck. Hughes had been a star in the making, frequently touted as Australia's next big batting sensation. His untimely demise also had a severe impact on fellow countryman Sean Abbott, who had bowled the fatal bouncer to Hughes. Fortunately, Abbott was able to recover from his depression and is now back to playing cricket, but Hughes still remains the biggest what-if in cricket today. And there you have it, folks, our top 10 most heartbreaking moments in cricket. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for compilations from the gentleman's game.